Greeting honorable judges, fellow debaters, and beloved teammates. My name is Max, and today I'm advocating for the motion that this House believes that governments worldwide should implement effective policies to mitigate the outflow of scientists and engineers engaged in frontier technologies, research, and development. Now, firstly, I want to define frontier technologies. According to the IGIglobal.com, frontier technologies are emerging technology that can have a dramatic impact in humanity. For example, in 1903, we have Oliver and Wilbur Wright, which created the world's first heavier-than-air flying object. Now, coming to my contentions, because I'm the first speaker, why should we reduce the amount of scientists and engineers engaged in frontier technologies, research and development? So, firstly, I think that the first reason is that when we try to mitigate the amount of scientists and engineers, we could create a better position for the host country, which is the country that the scientists come from, so that these countries can actually develop more. For example, countries like South America or in Africa has great potential, but as you can see nowadays, nobody's trying to develop it. Secondly, is to keep these people safe. What do I mean safe? It's not putting them inside a room and says, you sit here and we're gonna protect you. No, we're not gonna do that. Instead, we're going to try to still help them to engage in having a frontier technology studying, because we only say mitigate, which means we'll limit it and we're not banning it. For example, because frontier technologies are things that we don't know, like our new technologies. We don't know a lot about them. A famous incident is the 1941 and 1945 Demon Core, which in that time, America has been trying to develop an atomic bomb, and 2 scientists have died, and another 10 scientists suffered from a lifelong radioactive infection due to an incident involving something that we call the Demon Core. The Demon Core, a briefly thing is that it's just a kind of globe made out of plutonium, and it has a very big shell. If you drop the shell onto the plutonium, it'll create so much energy, and it'll literally create a nuclear fusion and reaction in which could cause extensive damage, lifelong paralysis to the people in which has contact with it. Now, another reason to why I should mitigate the outflow of scientists and engineers is that because if all of the scientists move away from the country, they go to some sort of fusion, and they help to develop the country they come to, but not the country they come from, it would be either chaotic, since a country is not always peaceful. And there are various problems like pollution, lack of educational response, or even domestic abuse. And these scientists, some scientists should be staying so that they could develop new technology in which that could help and reduce these problems, and not just looking, and as I said, not just looking forward, but to look backwards too. And for the rebuttals, if this teams assume that is that if we mitigate the outflow of the scientists and engineers engaged in frontier technologies, the world, it would have been very, it would not very developed. But if a lot of scientists has been moving away, what about the other problems? Yeah, and that's wraps up my case.
So my speech will start in 3, 2, 1. So firstly, scientists deserve freedom. They should be free to choose whatever they want to do. They should be free to choose what they want to choose without a bias, which is not exactly possible with this motion. Not that currently they don't have bias at all. We should avoid the bias like with the policies. Then the governments are encouraging them to be more researching and developing on the frontier technologies, then they will not focus enough on the other technologies. Also, this motion can be effective, but it cannot possible worldwide because not all governments have engineering and scientists focused on frontier technology. For example, countries in Africa, the ones with great potential, should care less about frontier technology and a bit more about agricultural technology and how to grow more plants and cultivate their land and gain a better economy before they start on anything too serious or for that matter. Countries with problems should prioritize dealing with their own problems even if it means that frontier technology is not prioritized. So the other team said that frontier technology can protect people. But actually, frontier technology is like everything else technology. And frontier technology is, after all, only a technology. And it depends on the user to see whether it can protect people or not. It completely depends on the user. So, frontier technology protecting us is not always true. It can protect us, but it's not always the case. And we can't expect the governments worldwide to all implement some effective policies that are going to mitigate the outflow of scientists. Because if scientists want to go to another field, they want to study another field, they want to focus on something that they're actually interested in and that people really need and they think they are going to make a better earning from, then they should be able to do it. Well, actually, if they want to focus on another domain, then we should let them. Because actually, when people need something, then there will be other people who will use this need to provide what they need. So they will have to provide something that people need. And if what people need right now is not frontier technology and they're not prioritizing frontier technology, then it's only natural that the scientists are relocating their focus to other domains. When we consider that frontier technology is important, when we consider that frontier technology is something we should focus about, that scientists should pay attention to, that people should invest more in, then scientists are going to automatically refocus on that domain because they need to feed themselves too. And responding to the needs of others is the way to do it. So when the need focuses on frontier technologies, then the scientists will come back to that domain. I present my case.
Good morning, everybody, fellow debaters and judges. So I am the second speaker come from the affirmative team. So first of all, I would like to rebut the other teams. So first of all, they didn't give any rebuttal to our first speaker point, so I will assume that they agree with our point. And second of all, she said that frontier technologies are only about engineer and anything like that, but it's also about agriculture. For example, drone. If they didn't even enhance agriculture, then the country economy can be reduced. Now I would like to move into my point. So scientific research, especially interdisciplinary research, is essential for solving problems and challenges. These include the development of cities and enterprises, and environmental protections or rational use of natural resources. For society, the existence of various scientists is important and necessary. For example, teachers in educational institutions or employees of laboratories. These are people who dedicate their whole lives to solving problems and for the country. They are the one who bring benefit to society. They fix problem and they solve problem. They enhance technologies in their specific country. So without them, a country cannot enhance more. And therefore, I rest my case.
Greeting judges, my fellow opponent, and my beloved teammates. I'm here to support the ideas that the government should not mitigate the outflow of scientists and engineers engaged in frontiers, technology, research, and development. So firstly, we have to define what is mitigate. So mitigate in this terms means they limited some kind of, let's just say it's a limitation of anything. So firstly, limiting the scientists will inhibit the countries from developing. So according to ANU, 25% of Africa are struggling with general technology. So this means technology and developing research can really help to the economy. Limiting use of tech can inhibit the LDC's path. Just think about our historical lines, from those large, big pyramids to the first light bulb was shine in this earth. We can see that technologies had helped our life a lot. Think about your phone. Scientists and engineers are trying to help the countries to develop on the best way. The first speaker did said that our first speaker of my team did said that freedom of developing and invention. So if this team said that limiting the scientists and engineers mean you are limiting their jobs and their works. Like you're trying your best to develop for your country, but the government stop you. This is really a shame. Yes? The second speaker of this team did make a really big mistake. He support our ideas because he said we really much benefits of the scientists. So I apologize. Yeah. So I rest my case.
Hello, honorable judges, fellow teammates, and fellow debaters. My name is Answer from the third speaker of the affirmative team, and today I firmly agree the motion. Governments worldwide should implement effective policies to mitigate the outflow of scientists. So I'll start with my rebuttals. First of all, the second speaker of the negative team stated actually her rebuttals was really weak and her arguments were pretty much nothing, and I don't think that is really counts as a point. I'll go with my arguments. First of all, it will actually help economic advancements in a country. Talented people will create inventions, and other countries will have interest, and they will maybe invest to us, and that will increase our economic advancements. Secondly, if there is a really talented scientist in our country, other scientists will feel more competitive, and competitiveness is really effective. A Harvard
a study by Harvard showed that a company that is competitive was more developing 10% than the other companies that was not. This shows that if there's more competitiveness, then our country will develop more, which will lead to more happy citizens and more pros. Thirdly, it will also enhance education. If there's a smart scientist, then there will be knowledge transfers to the young students or people, and that will lead to furthermore citizens advancements as well. Thank you for listening.
So, dear judges, the opponents team, and my teammates, and the audience right now. As I am the third speaker of the negative team, so I am strongly disagree with the notions that engineers and scientists should be limited to develop frontier technologies and research. Now, firstly, as the third speaker, I would like to rebut the affirmative team, as they claimed that talented people can help to develop the technologies. However, how can you know if someone is talented if you don't widen the amounts of people you accept or applied? You can only know when you widen the amounts of scientists and engineers. So in order to find talented people, you need to widen the amount of them. Now, secondly, as they also claimed about if we limited the scientists and engineers, the home country can have the better positions, so we can develop more. However, the first speaker haven't shown any reasonings or examples on how it can help to develop more, and you haven't give reasonings on how better positions can help the host country. And you also give the example of die scientists. However, I believe that die scientists is due to poor technologies and safety and lack of safety commitments. So in order to solve this problem, we need to develop technologies first, so that high technologies can use for the science safety. However, you also give a point as engineers and scientists need to focus to develop about technologies to solve it, and this actually supports our points. So thank you for backing up our contentions. So now, coming back to my contentions, I would like to say that it can help to accelerate innovations that can match with global issues. Now, because engineers and scientists are the ones that have full knowledge and experiences, and they are trained well to be a part of that developing technologies or research, means that they go to school, they can learn from their past experiences, their past works, and they can learn from their friends, their teachers, and many others resources. And not only that, because they are also the one that living in today's world, means that they know what is the key core to develop about. As there are many global issues nowadays, like climate change or poor healthcare or education, means that when they know what is the core to develop about, they can develop more technologies and research to help us to solve these problems. And not only that, because they are human, means that they have the creativity to allow them to give a new and the most innovative research. So they are, and because they are the consumers as well, means they know what is the benefits, what is the thing that they need to correct about the technologies and the research. So backing up of my points, national science foundations have give a research about scientists and energy, give out over 75% of the US workforce responsibility that give out better working research in developing new inventions and technologies, which can increase the US R&D intensity from 2.8% to 3.3%. And from that point, it means that they can help to increase the GDP of the US in several in the future years. So at the end of the days, scientists and engineers can have more opportunities to get promotions in work and have their source of income. Moreover, many young scientists and young engineers nowadays can get the motivations and compassionates to contribute into the society, so with more useful developments. So from that point, if you want to have a society that many people get the sources of income, can raise the employment of that employment rate of that countries and have more high advanced technologies, please choose our team. Thank you.
Hello
Hello, honorable judges, fellow opponents, and very, very beloved teammates. Today, my name is Hillary, and I am the fourth speaker of this debate for the affirmative team. First of all, I will rebut against Cecil's points. First of all, sorry. You said earlier that by limiting the laws, we are encouraging them to stay in the country, but in fact that is actually not what we're trying to do. We are reducing the amount of people who are going out of the country. And also, Okay. Actually, moving on to Sumiko's points. Okay, so first of all, I would like to rebut against your definition of mitigate. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, for dictionary, it means to suppress damage. That is what mitigate means. And actually, in this context, it means to minimize the outflow of engineers engaged in. Actually, no. It says to mitigate the outflow, which to reduce the outflow of scientists who get out the country, and yeah. In my opinion, mitigate in this case is like mitigate the damage and mitigate the. Wait, scratch that point. Anyway. Oh, by the way, you said that if people were to, if we were to limit those people to leaving the country, you said it would make them feel bad, you would feel sad for it, right? But you shouldn't really think about emotions, because we are talking about hundreds of lives who are being targeted here. Why should we care for the care of just one? Which leads me on to my actual point, which is that if we were to let the flow of scientists go like that, it could actually result in a sort of domino effect. So first of all, if we let a bunch of scientists go into one country, the original country that they used to stay in would be less developed. For example, Africa, they don't, as you know, they're not really developed and they don't have much scientists. And then once that happens, it would either lead to a lot of death, as you know, people, again, with Africa, people die from dehydration and starving, and then it will become the United Nations problem, as you know. And that would lead to more innovation, more of a need for innovation, and therefore we would need even more scientists, therefore creating we would need more innovation. And if we have that one country who has a lot of innovations that could work, but if we all focus into one thing, but we also have other problems such as climate change and we have poverty, we have political corruption. There's a lot of problems in this world, and we can't just focus all in on poverty, right? Next of all, I would like to okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Jobs once said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish," emphasizing on the power of innovation in our society, which is why me, Ralph, and my team strongly advocates for the negative side of the motion. This House believes that government worldwide should implement effective policies to mitigate the outflow of scientists and researchers and engineers engaged in frontier technology, research and development. So firstly, I'd like to bring up a reminder that this is a debate between stepping one foot outside of our comfort zone and taking the necessary risk for us to improve. Y'all hear me? Okay. Now let me bring you to my rebuttals. So firstly, the other team haven't explained on the effective policies that you guys are supposed to elaborate on. So please elaborate on it after this debate, please. And the second speaker also made a bold assumption that researchers have to travel outside of their countries to conduct experiments and to follow their innovation pursuit. That is not necessarily true every time. They can stay here in this country right here and do what they want and research on their innovations without bothering of other country. And additionally, I would like to point out that frontier technology is not something that we are completely unaware and not something that is unexplored in our world. It's just not fully reached the potential, the maximum potential for humanity to improve. So why hinder it, right? And nextly, I would like to point out that the third speaker had to resort to a case of ad hominem shaming the second speaker from my team because he had no rebuttals to give. So, and I actually want to point out that the second speaker contention of my team is actually pretty effective. That's why, and I will elaborate on it later. And also, the fourth speaker made a statement that limiting the people that go out the country. You're not on the motion. You're out of the motion because you're saying that that is what you aim for, but that's not true. But is that not a part of the motion? Now that's clear. Let me summarize my whole team speech. So the first speaker mentioned about the freedom of what we want and our will. So people dreams and their own personal goal, and including these policies is basically inhibiting them from following their dream and what they want to pursue, which is basically limiting and violating their rights of freedom of will. And secondly, the second speaker from my team was saying about limiting researchers in the innovative field would hinder the improvement of least developed countries. Least developed countries don't have enough resources to be better off at this moment. So their best solution is to focus on innovations, and the innovations is utilizing and prioritizing innovation technology would help them to have a better foothold in the world. And the third speaker spoke about the innovation and how it will help match and prepare us for global issues in the future. Future is a mystery, and without the cutting-edge technology to prepare and save ourselves from a plethora of issues and danger in the future, the world would collapse. Humanity would fall. And having innovations is like having a head start in a race, and to not let the environment dictate us, but actually preparing for it. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, we have to know how much time's out.
So a little bit late is our giving a short comment is that is for the frontier technology. Daisy mentioned about that is for the solving the problem. Need to solving the problem concept. The global issues is not only for the national issue, international cooperation to solving that kinds of problem. So it's kinds of the technology also. For example, it's a green frontier technology. They need to develop for the new technology about the green energy, and then green energy, the generators, like it's nuclear fusion kinds of things. Now they, how many countries? Then almost 10 countries. They collaborating together to make true for the nuclear fusion technology. So this is kind of one of example that is making the frontier technology to solving every problem of poverty and energy, everything is by nuclear fusion, by cooperating the develop every country's scientists together, not only for they separating like that. So this is kind of one of a good example. So if you mention about this is the best, but anyway, the mention about the four kinds of strategy, it was good too like that. So, okay, this is my comment. And then best speaker for me, for my selection, the best speaker is Daisy. Okay.
So I'm just gonna be very honest with you guys. Well, this debate, it's actually, in my opinion, okay, this is just my opinion. This debate is actually a little bit easier than the U.S. Nation debate, because actually the points that you could elaborate, it's about this quote: quality over quantity. That should have been the issue for the whole debate. And also about the word mitigate. Some people misspell it, okay? But the fact that is the affirmative team have forget to define it in your opinion. I'm talking about Max. You haven't defined it, but you go straight to the point, which creates the confusion for me. Just don't know what are your points actually relevant to the motions or not. Not only that, some of you guys may be a little bit too short. I expect a little bit longer. I know the points might be hard, but however, you can go with some rebuttals and you could expand your view on it. Nobody is deter you from expanding your view and your opinion about this debate. So you can just freely go whatever you want as long as it's relevant to it. Okay, and the affirmative team, I would like to give some comment for Hillary. Hillary, you have been very aggressive, a little bit too much, to be honest. It's okay for you to look at the opponent's team and start talking about and start intimidating them, but maybe use a little bit fingers is a little bit too much for me. I'm not sure. And also you take your time to you take too much time to refine your argument, and which makes your argument quite short and not really that concise. So the best speaker I would give to Daisy. She has been consistent with her points.
Okay, I'll be brief because I unfortunately missed half of your debate, Harry and Max. I can't comment on yours. And Cecile, which I just caught a little bit of. So generally, my feedback would be I agree with David that this topic was significantly easier. But similar to the previous debate, I feel we need to work on your, how can we put this? Your build up to your arguments, right? It's the same as with the previous debate. Most of you didn't really reach a climax with your arguments. It felt like, it just felt like you were mumbling around with words and not making any points. And the rebuttals were also not really well structured, right? It's like you have to shoot your opponent accurately, but you are all just standing in a dark room shooting in random directions. Okay, just that's how it feels for me. Hillary, what went on? It just all fell to pieces. I don't know. I know you are a great debater. I've seen you debate, but today was not your best performance. I'll be quite honest. Okay, Yuki, you were doing much better. I like that. There was a bit more of a confidence, a bit more structure, usually because you're so full of energy, right? You're everywhere. But today there was focus. There was a flow of your ideas going in one direction. Sumiko, we're going to need to work on your nerves. Okay, this is the second time where your nervousness gets you. Okay, so we're going to have to find a way to solve that in our next upcoming lessons. Okay, let's get rid of that as quick as possible. Ralph, generally really good. Great. Yeah, good. I was very happy with your performance. You made some good points. You kind of brought the whole debate back to a concluding point. However, for me, the best speaker was also Daisy. And this is only because Daisy kept a consistency in the style of debating. She didn't stutter once, she didn't fall once, she didn't lose focus once. But generally, I was happy with your performance. But we're gonna have to do some fine tuning in the training for the WSC. All right, but yes, I'm seeing progress.
So after another tired decision, which confused me so much, yeah, the winning team is the negative team.
I want to say this is I selected the most of a difficult topic. So yeah, I understand that you guys today a little bit difficult, right? To finding some evidence like this. Yeah.